Hey, it's Jay Patrick at CMA Fest 2022. Well, she's written for Little Big Town and Alan Jackson, and her latest solo album, Raised, is out. New single, Everything She Want, on country radio now. Hailey Whitters, welcome.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So we were just talking, you've got a busy weekend ahead of you, doing lots of things for CMA Fest this year. You just come from the Hall of Fame, I believe.
Yeah, we were just hanging at the Hall of Fame with CMT. CMT's Next Women of Country. And then can't pass up an opportunity to hang out with my WSM.
Yeah, well, you know.
So here we are, and I think we got a people shoot and a show at Ole Red tonight, and our official show is tomorrow. So, yep, it's going to be busy.
You work so hard to do these things, but when you're doing it, is it just a whirlwind? And then like a couple days later, you're like, oh, I did all that.
It's a rush, and I mean, it's been the last time I was in this building walking to this interview, I was just telling my manager, I was like, man, the last time I was here, my first ever time performing a CMA thing, Martina had asked me to come sing on a song that I wrote that she put on a record, and I was so nervous. You know what I mean? It was like so scary, and now I'm like, I'm not saying I'm a pro or anything, but it just like, it feels good, and to be able to look back on how scared and nervous you were and then see, you grow all those years, it feels really cool to be back.
I think you are a pro at this point.
No, I'm just getting started.
Well, you did an interview with the NPR last year, and you said you were 12 years into a 10-year town. And it was too late to turn around. Yeah. And so with all that work over that time, I mean, is it gratifying now? Is it a relief to see that all that work has paid off the last couple of years? Yeah,
I mean, it's really cool. I remember being so frustrated, like, why aren't I further along and all this stuff? But I just think timing is everything, and everything happens the way it's supposed to, and I can look back and just, I had a lot of years to just grow and become more comfortable in my skin and more confident, and I feel like, I'm better for it now today. I'm a stronger artist because of all that. Yeah, so where do you think,
has your process changed? With Black Sheep was 2015?
Yeah.
And then Raised, in 2022, so obviously, we grow over time, but has your process changed as a songwriter and a performer?
I think so. I have a lot more experience under my belt now than I did at Black Sheep. Black Sheep was kind of me starting to dip my toes in the water a little bit, and I think that I have a lot more experience now, a lot more confidence. I feel more sure on who I am as an artist and as a songwriter and what I want to say and what's important to me. So,
when I listened to The Dream, your album from 2020, and it feels like it's almost like a collection of stories from all that time you've spent here. I mean, I think about, Fill in My Cup. That's a great song. And another one of my favorites off that album is Janice at the Hotel Bar. Yeah. And I'm like, man, this is just somebody who's like coming, she's observing humanity and maybe even some of your own experiences.
Totally.
And I wonder, is that a fair assessment of what that album was?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, I had, 5 or 6 years between Black Sheep and putting out that record, The Dream. So I had a lot of time to kind of sit and be with myself and think about it. A lot of heartbreak, a lot of, highlights, a lot going on in those years. So I had a lot to pull from in my life experience, and just, I think that's kind of what made that record so special. And I took on that record with the approach of like, this might be the last record you get to make, so lay it all out on the table, put it all out there. And I just wanted to create something that just I felt like represented me and where I was at in my life and my journey in Nashville in the last 12 years at that point.
And so you go in to do your latest album, Raised. So what do you think you brought into that, and what was that process doing that album like?
I feel like it's so funny because I feel like Raised was almost like the prequel to The Dream.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I feel like it took The Dream for me to get my break, to get my platform, to get people to listen to me or figure out who I was or start paying attention. And then now I feel like I'm able to make the record I was always going to make, which is Raised, which is, where I come from, who I am. I keep saying, if The Dream was the broken-hearted dreamer, the one back waiting tables, whatever she had to do to pay the bills and keep that dream alive. Raised is the record where you go back and you're like, well, who is that girl? What made her? watched you hang on so long, like, and you can really start to see, I think, who I am and what shaped me and how I was raised and all that, and why I stayed here all these years.
Middle of America.
Yeah.
With American Aquarium.
Yes.
And you're doing a show with them at the Ryman coming up.
Yeah, we're doing it actually a week from today. We're going to be at the Ryman.
Yeah, great stage.
Holy place. And I'm so pumped to get to do that with them. And BJ actually became kind of a recent friend of mine through, the pandemic. We started writing a little bit, him and Lori McKenna and me. And I'm just such a fan. I mean, I love him as a songwriter, his voice, just the sound that, they have with that band and that they've been doing. So I think he was the perfect fit for that song. And I was just so thrilled when he asked me to play the Ryman with them.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great show. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Hailey Whitters, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you have the stamina to get through the weekend.
Here we go.
And I can't wait to see you back at the Opry.
Yes, I can't wait to be back.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.